Hello, and we are live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Watch on my reviews. This is your boy James. Where today I'm here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen in this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Besh. I'll say what's up to her.
Good afternoon. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. Please subscribe to both channels. Any reviews or recaps I do not cover on my channel, it's because we cover on Mrs. Best channel. So we currently have Love and Hip Hop Miami. We also have the Valley Persian style and also 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. And then coming up this Friday, I believe we will have the premiere of Love After Lockup, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a lot coming for y'all. I mean, on Mrs. Best channel, y'all don't want to miss this. These are some good shows. Hey, Shani, thank you for being here first. We appreciate you. And I also want to say a shout out to my new subscribers that have joined us just recently here. Welcome to my channel. I don't know all of you yet, but I hope to get to know you. Please leave a comment. I also want to shout out the replay game. Thank you guys for catching the video, after we go live. We appreciate you watching and giving us our numbers. So, now that I got the housekeeping out the way, we're going to get into Married to Medicine, y'all. It actually was a decent episode. I'm not going to lie. But what I will say, me and Mrs. Best both actually thought about this, is that for Dr. Heavenly to be a friend of, they do put a lot of focus on her, y'all. Like, I get in her Bravo contract, it says that no housewife can run for politics. But y'all might as well have bent that rule and just put her here because the whole episode was about her the entire time. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know if you felt the same way, Mrs. Best, but yeah, the whole episode is about heaven. We lost Mrs. Best. No worries, y'all. She'll come in. She might be having trouble with her app or something. But we're gonna talk about Married to Medicine. So the show opens up with we're at Quad's house. Now remember, Quad has been gone to Ghana, so she's now coming back to the States and catching up with her friends. She has Angel there, she has Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. They're all at her house and giving her the update on what happened at the last event, where they got to make the purses and this whole beef between her, Heavenly, and Toya. Contessa says that, there was just this big, matchup and they were talking about the text thread. And Dr. Heavenly said, y'all act like y'all didn't see Toya talking about my son in the text message. Now, when they showed the text message, Toya didn't specifically say son. She said family. She said you need to pay attention to your family and maybe do that on camera. That's what Toya's shot was. So it wasn't taking a direct mark towards her son, but you could kind of read it between the lines. We're not going to make preferences on that. Toya, meant that. So in their confessionals, both Angel and Dr. Contessa said Heavenly full of shit. Toya did not mention anything about, her kids. So when it came down to them in their personal conversation, Contessa asked Heavenly, well, why are we talking about your son? That shit happened years ago. Why are we talking about it now? And Dr. Heavenly reminded Contessa that it was a blog that recently came out mentioning that her son had got arrested. And Heavenly said she didn't know nothing about it. And Dr. Contessa jokingly whispers to Heavenly, she said, maybe Simone did it and just put it out there. And and Dr. Heavenly looked at her kind of like sparked because you could tell they had a conversation prior that they weren't going to probably bring this up on camera, but Contessa did it anyway. And Quan was like, wait, what y'all talking about? And Contessa said, well, Simone be looking up stuff on people, And Quan remembers like when she was talking about my house and Contessa's like, absolutely, she probably did look up your house. And Heavenly takes the knife a little deeper and says she probably looked up that car too. She said she get a VIN number, she gonna look up that car to see whose name it's in. And it kind of sets this seed, y'all. We ain't really see nothing too much with this yet, but it did plant a seed that directly this is gonna come up again and Quad is gonna feel away. And once again, Bravo in that call center. Bravo in that call center. I do not, and I repeat, and I speak on everybody on Watch On Off Reviews. I do not want to see another encounter with Simone and Quad. This is dead. This is done. Why do we have to continue this situation with these two and another damn beef? Now, I know y'all saying, well, James, it was Contessa and Heavenly were being messy and bringing that up to Quad and stuff, so they did it. And Qui-Gon, I get all that. But still, it is way too much. I don't want to see a beef between those two. Mr. Best, I have to ask you, how did you feel the scene at Quad's house with the ladies? How did you feel about that scene?
I mean, Simone's probably been doing stuff like that for a while. I mean, I understand wanting to look people up sometimes, but if you're looking everybody you know up, I think that says more about you than other people.
Hmm.
But I don't really care either because I think we're all tired of their beef. It's been years. You're never going to be back the way you were, Simone and Quad. So either shut up or one of you leave the show, please.
And please, because at this point, this beef is so tired. There was another thing I wanted to ask you. Oh, yeah. When it came to Dr. Heavenly and Toya, do you feel that we missed anything with their beef last season where it kind of felt like Toya was coming after Eugene? Or do you feel that Heavenly was just wrong for bringing up the dick size?
Toya was wrong for bringing up her husband's dick size. If you don't want people to talk about it, don't say it publicly. This is another set of people who I'm sick of as it relates to the beef. Because as quiet as it's kept, Toya and Eugene actually have a lot to thank Heavenly and Damon for. Um, I'm just over the beef. I'm also, though Heavenly may not, or though Toya may not have said anything specific about Heavenly's sons, to threaten somebody's family just because you don't like yours being spoken about when the things being spoken about as it relates to your family are coming from you, Miss Toya, that it just gets tired. It's hard. Because while Heavenly sometimes is wrong, she only has content because of Toya.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. So yeah, but that was pretty much their scene. Once again, it looks like next week we're gonna have to see another episode of Quad and Simone, and I'm just over it. So the next thing we have is Mimi. She's coming home from work and she has the baby boy um, without Steve. So she is going to her house, and the baby boy, as soon as she pulls up in the parking, I mean in the driveway, the little boy is just hollering, talking about "Let me out, do this and that," and she's, panicking, trying to get to the, little boy. So she brings him in the house. She says, "See, we made it in the house. We made it in the house." And then she put her purse down. She said, "Jesus Christ!" And I said, "Oh, I just want to give her a hug. I know she's just going through it." And the boy in there screaming, "He want his daddy. He want his daddy." And so Steve pulls up later, and then he comes in there, and Mimi said, "Ooh, I had a rough day today. I had clients because they have a women's mental health clinic. Her and Steve. So she said that I had clients today. I was working hard. Then I had to pick Stevie up from the from the place, and that's also a dodge and weave situation because you don't know if he's gonna throw something at you while you're driving." And I just said, "God damn." I said, "Okay, that's a lot." And they also speak on, once again, their daughter, because there was a point in the episode, a previous episode, where the daughter, little boy hit his sister. And so the daughter's with the grandmother. And their standpoint on their daughter is that they don't want her to have to feel responsible for her emotional state or how she may feel about her brother. So they try to make sure that she just gets a break and that is allowed to be a kid. I think that that's very pleasant of them to do that because that is hard on a kid to have to, not have to, always have to be conscious of their emotions or have to be conscious of the attention they may get because their sibling may need it more. So I can definitely commend them to, but this is starting to get hard to watch, because as a recapper, I don't want to speak on people's children. I don't want to speak on disabilities of children. I don't want to speak on anything of that. So it is hard to really speak on these two. So I'm hoping this is not the only thing they're giving us because I may skip Mimi and Steve's personal scenes going forward if this is all they're giving us, just because I don't want to speak on this. I really don't. Only to bring awareness, but mainly and to commend them as great parents. But mainly, this is a hard subject because it's not the little boy's fault. Mrs. Best, is there something you would like to add to this theme before I move on?
They're showing the kids, even though it's difficult and uncomfortable to watch because it is becoming more of a reality statistically that more people are having kids that are on the spectrum in some way. A lot of it is due to the food we're eating, a bigger part of it. is that people are having children later. This is why they tell us as women sometimes that once you are 30 something plus, you considered high risk. You're at risk of having a child with disabilities and special needs. So I think it's just a reminder to people to, one, make sure you're making the right choices with who you choose to raise kids with, because if they were doing this as single parents, it would be 10 times harder. I think the second thing that's really important is there are people out there like that that are on the spectrum. And part of the reason kids act up is because a lot of times it's not that they're delayed or anything. They just struggle to communicate emotions in a way that we would consider to be regular or normal. So we're going to be seeing this until probably the young man gets older. But I also feel like there's only so much you can show of this. I would like to see more into the dynamic of their relationship without the kids than just them dealing with this one kid, if that makes sense.
That's where I'm at too. So I'm glad that you echoed that because I'm that way too. I want to see more of their dynamic as husband and wife, even though it is a storyline. It is something that definitely has not been shown on Married to Medicine that we may need to see. But at the same time, it's one of those where I don't want to speak on something I don't know in particular, or don't have any experience with in this sanction of life. Like relationships are one thing because we all been in relationships, we all been in messed up situations, we all kind of done things like that. But when it comes to children, I don't have any experience in this, and I don't know what that feels like, and it's hard for me to relate. I can relate on being cheated on. I can relate on having a difficult partner. I can relate to all those things, but that I just can't relate to. So that's why it's hard for me.
Yeah, I think it's important to still have conversations, even when you can't relate to something. I think those are the most necessary conversations to have for most people, but they definitely need to show more. And they also kind of make it look like they're letting this boy's disability rule their household. Because a lot of people go through this and don't have the grandparent to send the boy to, because grandparent may be older and cannot deal with that. A lot of people are not able to separate the sibling, that's dealing with whatever the ramifications of this boy's struggles are. Not everybody has those difficulties. So I hope to see them do more, because if you're going to have your kid shown on TV, disabilities or not, we're going to comment. We're entitled to an opinion, especially me. If you know, you know. But we are definitely entitled to an opinion. And I do see some concerns and errors in their parenting, but nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Maybe Shani said maybe she needs one of those pet screens in the back seat help stop the flying objects. I want to know why there are flying objects in the car in the first place.
I wouldn't give
him
a flying object, and that's the thing. There's no right answer, but regardless of that little boy being on a spectrum or not, he still has to learn boundaries. He still has to learn consequences, and he has to learn the word no. And that's really where the bulk of what he's learning will come from. I would have expected them to show him having experiences with behavioral therapists, RBTs, behavioral analysts. I would have preferred to see stuff like that. We just seeing a little boy in the car acting a fool, at home throwing a fit. And it's like, from what I know from working in fields with kids like that, if you can vocalize to Mimi that you want your dad, then you can vocalize other things. That's why I keep saying and emphasizing disability, delay, being on the spectrum does not mean that you are less intelligent. Does not mean that he will not try to take boundaries the way kids would. But it looks like Mimi and her husband are struggling to see some of it. But I commend them for sharing it.
Yeah, I commend them for sharing it too. But do you think, because she's a psychiatrist, that maybe they don't have him in some type of behavioral health?
No, I feel like she probably does have him in it, but she probably doesn't want to show it. A lot of times it's agencies that do stuff like that. And a lot of those agencies are hiring people fresh out of college. Some of them will even hire you without the experience. I don't think it's anything like that. I think sometimes being a psychiatrist, people think that they'll have the right answers or think that they'll know what to do. But I think she may be trying to do things the way that she was taught in school, and that doesn't always work.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Shani asked, did Heavenly and Damon loan them money back in the day? Who are you talking about? Because I don't. If you're talking about Toya and Eugene, I don't know. I don't recall them ever lending them money.
They've said on the show that Heavenly and Damon have helped Eugene with like many of his jobs that he had when he was first getting started. I never heard nothing about money, but it sounds like they helped him.
Yeah, I remember Heavenly saying that Damon did give Eugene his first job out of medical school. So I do remember them saying that, but I don't remember them loaning them any money. Hi, Keywan. Thank you for being here. You guys, make sure you subscribe to Keywan J's channel. You can either click her picture in the comments, or you can go to my description box when this is all done. Make sure you subscribe to her channel as well. We have collabed recently a couple times. We were having the time of our lives, so we definitely love her and want her, send love her way, and be sure to tell her James sent you. So the next thing we see, Heavenly meets up with her brother. So apparently her dad had outside children while he was married to her mother, because when Heavenly, was asking him the questions about his age and everything, he had mentioned that, he's about maybe 6 years older than Heavenly. And Heavenly and mother and father were married 8 years before Heavenly was born. So she was doing the math. She said her father had outside children. And she was like, whoa, they're connected. He had showed up to her job one day and just wanted a relationship with her, which I think that's crazy in itself. But, hey, a simple phone call would have did me justice. But, that's probably one of my worst fears. I think it's the top 10, realizing that I may have a sibling outside of my regular household. And since my father is gone, I don't have a way to really confront that. So I'm like, what would I do if someone showed up and say, hey, I'm your sibling? Like, I don't know, Mrs. Best, what would you do in that situation?
I don't know. That actually happened in my family based on a ancestry or 23andMe test. My mom's dad, my grandfather had an outside child on my mom's mom while they were married. It was a mess. We learned a lot through the situation, but my mama called up my Uncle Chris and was like, hey, I'm your sister, Negro. Mind y'all, my mother is a licensed marriage and family therapist. So I found that to be interesting, but it does happen. Mm-hmm. It definitely does happen. But usually when it happens, you hear something like the story I just told. Like, oh, I just ran my ancestry for fun. Someone gave me a 23andMe gift card for Christmas. You hear it like in little ways like that. Not, well, he knew where I worked because I was famous. He just showed up to my job, talk about we related and we see similarities. I need some confirmation. You can afford it, Heavenly. I need some confirmation.
Well, this is the thing about Heavenly. And she's never said this on the show, but she has said this on Open and Honest when her and Dr. Jackie had that podcast. She has said that her mother had 5 kids by 4 different men. Like, she said that out her mouth. So now, to me, I'm looking back on that situation and I'm just thinking, okay, so if that could happen, your dad could have children outside of his marriage too. I mean, it's very possible. And then she said her father was in the service, so he was gone a lot. So yeah, that's a very possible thing. Like, in terms of how, so for her to act like that was so shocking and surprised, I was like, but Heavenly, like, if y'all don't watch the Open and Honest podcast she had with Dr. Jackie, Heavenly told a lot of her business. This shit was funny as hell. So y'all go back and watch Open and Honest, because she definitely said that. So I don't know. It's just this shit is just, it was fun. They do look alike. Like, they did favor each other a little bit. He actually looks like her son to me. So that's why I was like, okay, I can kind of see it too a little bit. But that was interesting. She invites him. She's going to have this big event, a family reunion. She says she's never had a family reunion. Now, whenever I hear a Black person say, which a lot of this cast did say, they never really had experience. Like, some of them had experiences with family reunion, but you had 2 or 3 of them that never had a family reunion. I'm like, damn. That's crazy and insane, because I feel like that if one thing Black people get right in life and in this society is that we gonna have a reunion, a family reunion, to make sure we see each other, keep in touch. Especially, that's what that's always been my experience. Mrs. Best, did you ever have family reunions growing up? Or even if
Yeah,
you
my
don't like.
family's from New Orleans. And the other side of my family, my mom's side is from East St. Louis, Illinois, and Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So we are definitely big on family reunions, block parties, all of that. We have them every few years. Now, have I been in a while? No, but we do have them. I do enjoy them
Yes,
sometimes.
my family's trying to have one this year, so I'm excited. I'm like, yes, family reunion, let's go. So Heavenly has kind of a competition. So we see her at her house, and she's getting her pants together because she wants to do a macaroni and cheese competition, which I actually thought was kind of cool and a little cute. Like I was like, oh, that's kind of dope. Like macaroni and cheese, like. And so she's doing a competition. She FaceTimed Jackie and she said, Jackie, we gotta make macaroni and cheese. How we gonna do this? And Jackie giving her instructions like she could. Talking about you gotta boil the noodles for 40 minutes. I said, Jackie. I said, you can tell Jackie don't
I
cook.
actually don't think Jackie was telling her to boil the noodles for 40 minutes. I think everybody misheard. She told that girl, well, first you got to boil the water and put the noodles in it. And then she was telling her some more, but Heavenly wouldn't shut the hell up. Talking about, you in surgery, bitch. I said, oh, Lord. But it sounded like Jackie was trying to tell her because 40 minutes is about the length of time you're going to put that thing in the oven. So I was like, I feel like Jackie told her the correct steps, but honestly, y'all, and I've had people do this to me because I am the cook of my friend group. You can't just call people while the water is boiling, talking about what do I do next to make some macaroni and cheese. How the hell you was big as hell, Heavenly, and you don't know how to make no macaroni and cheese? Ain't no way in hell you and Damon walking around looking like y'all both in your second trimester and you can't make mac and cheese. Make it make sense, somebody. And it's not hard, y'all.
I'm about to die.
No, you're not.
I'm
You have
about to
life.
die.
You life.
Because you just killed me.
It's true.
So I can't even do it. Okay, so we see a montage of people cooking. We have Toya's little boy. I don't remember which one of the A names it is. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. But he's in the kitchen making his brew. I had to ask Mrs. Best about that because I've never made mac and cheese from scratch before, y'all. I'm not the best cook. I can cook, but I'm not the best at it. And I don't cook very often. So I was asking her about that. She, educated me. That's what friends are for. So I actually use my best friend in the way Dr. Heavily didn't use hers. Just saying. I actually listened. So, you know, she, he was getting his stuff together, saying a whole bunch of culinary terms. I said, look at little whatever A name he is. Go ahead, boy. We got you. You gonna be something in life. Yes, you are. And then we had Cecil. Now, Steve's still talking about, oh yeah, this macaroni and cheese, this gonna be, this is way down south, down in Knoxville, Texas, or whatever the fuck he said. And he said, yeah, and then he was mixing his ingredients, his cheese and stuff, in this little bowl, and I'm just looking like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not, I wouldn't even see some macaroni and cheese. Him
Cecil's
and
mac and cheese worried me because I was like, why does it look like the milk is still cold? The cheese is still cold. Like, he bought some weird brand of noodles. Like, don't be trying to be bougie with your noodles, y'all. Great value. Okay. Signature select. All of that is great. So I couldn't understand what it was that Cecil was doing. Some tell me Cecil can cook a little bit, but he from LA. No shade, y'all. Being from California, every time I go to LA and somebody talk about they can cook, they can't. And yes, I'm talking about black people. And anybody, like we have a friend from high school, me and you, James, the person I met you through, and her family swear they can cook. They swear they can cook. These people can't cook for shit. Her mama and all of them are from Watts. They make gumbo that look like Progresso chicken noodle soup. And I am not shitting y'all. And they swear they can cook. And when she be posting food to the internet, I know you see some of them posted don't look good. So I'm just people from that area. I just thought of LA and the nasty food in Cecil. LA has great restaurants, but the people
Very
really
good
from there,
restaurants.
no shade, a lot of them can't cook. We still love y'all.
Well,
Though. Y'all
hi,
produce Kendrick
Shane.
Lamar.
Hi, Shana. Thank you for being here, you guys. Please subscribe to Shana_MCD. This is another one of my good YouTube friends and my friend in real life now. She is also doing recaps on these shows. Make sure you click the link, subscribe to her channel, and be sure to tell her James sent you. But y'all, I'm gonna make a macaroni and cheese this year. I promise. I'm gonna make one this year. It's gonna be good. I just gotta find some foods that are ready to eat it. That's all.
It's not hard. I'll come to your house and help walk you through it.
Oh, okay, good. Y'all heard? Now,
Oh
y'all
my
heard her say that. Now, wait a minute. Now, y'all heard her say that because she gonna come up here one day and act like she didn't say that shit. So this is
Last
what,
time
30
I was
minutes and
promised
17.
Jamaican food, so I wouldn't risk cooking because you would have got a plate and I wouldn't have got my curry.
Well, I'm not with the motherfucker no more. So what you want me to do now?
Well, I love Jamaican food, whether you was with him or not.
Okay. Okay. No. In the premise of what I promised you, that was supposed to be my man. I'm not with that man no more. So what you want me to do now?
James said, when you come back, I'm not promising you shit.
I'm not promising
I'm gonna
you
have
shit
a fridge and freezer full of ingredients for you. I'm not bringing.
Y'all chime in the comments. When things of the original circumstance change, the original promise is now and void, right? Because it wasn't me that was making her the shit. It was my then fiance. So I'm sorry. The relationship is done. I can't do nothing for you now. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I learned from Patty LaBelle cook good before it blew up when it was still $5.99 in Borders. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, Borders, books, and music.
Child, I would never forget in high school, them girls tearing up the barcode of the books and stealing them out of Union Land. Lord Jesus.
Damn.
The times. Oh, let's see. Yeah. I've never had patty pies. I need to do that. You have to shred your cheese. Not already. Oh, okay. Okay. I can't cheat and do this. Okay, I got you. Shane. I got you.
You can make it with shredded cheese. You just have to be careful what shredded cheese you buying. And I'm also a person that does not like the Velveeta because it tastes fake to me.
No, I would do real cheese. See, this is okay. So this is how I would start my macaroni and cheese. I would start with my pot, and I would chop up a whole onion, and I would pour some milk in that onion, let it warm up a little bit, and then started getting my mild and sharp cheddar, and then I have some other kind of cheese. I'm gonna have probably 3 or 4 more cheeses, but that's where I would start. Just saying. I told y'all I can't cook, but anyway.
You might be able to. It sound confident. You said multiple cheeses. You said the right thing. You probably just need confidence, friend. You didn't say nothing too crazy. I don't use onions either, Shani. I don't.
I'm an onion freak. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, not sorry.
Onions are hella good.
Yeah, onions. Yeah, it's also a good binding material too. If you guys didn't notice, binding material with white onions, especially, yes, it's really good. But anyways, y'all, we getting sidetracked. So it's the day of the event, and everybody's showing up. Dr. Heavenly assigned people different colors to represent their families, which they've done this before. They had went on a vacation. I think it was last season or maybe the season before last. One of these seasons where they had cut up, assigned different colors to each other. So they picked up with that theme again. Everyone's showing up and, with their macaroni and cheese and all, this stuff going on. And as people are showing up and Heavenly's getting acquainted, Heavenly tells Jackie that Contessa, unfortunately, is not going to be able to make it because her daughter Lauren has a pageant. So they couldn't, be there. And she kind of glad because she said Contessa will take all the food home. That's me. I'm Contessa in that situation. Yes, I am a to-go plate fiend. When I tell y'all.
Me too. Me too.
If y'all worried about having leftovers and y'all wanted to keep some of that food, do not invite me to your shit. Because I am taking a plate of food home. And sometimes I be having Tupperware in the car ready. Like I be like, yep.
My stepmom at Christmas had bought these like disposable Tupperwares, talking about one thing about you people is you make too much food and everybody wants a to-go plate. I said, you know what? Welcome to the family, and I'm glad you got with the times. I did not know they had disposable to-go plates. Like I
They
thought you
sure
had to
do.
go to like Smart and Final or the Restaurant Depot or something to
Mm-mm.
get it.
Nope. You
I
can get
said,
those
the
anywhere
hell?
now. You can get
I
those
hop
anywhere now,
in.
yeah. Hello, Happy. I was just going to mention this. It's so funny you bring this up. So Toya gets there. Toya already, before she even get out the car, oh, yeah, this looked like a Heavenly event, $2 event. And so Heavenly said, hey, Toya, thank you for bringing your macaroni and cheese. And Toya looks and she goes, okay, I always see that son. Where's the other son? And it stopped Heavenly in her track, and a few things probably was going through Heavenly's mind. He's like, do I cuss this girl out right now because she's bringing up my child once again? Or do I just let it go because it's supposed to be a family event? Y'all know it wouldn't be a black event without a fight, right? That's too much like right. But Toya, I'm gonna tell you like this: whatever Heavenly give you beyond this point, you deserve. Because she
Mm-hmm.
apologized, y'all deaded it. It was supposed to be it. That was it. That was all. Now here you go. And then a lot of people gonna say, "Well, Toya didn't do nothing. Toya didn't say nothing." All these cast members going because they want to jump on Heavenly. But Toya, you was not slick for that shit. We heard you. So whatever Heavenly give you, you deserve.
If
Just saying.
Heavenly, if Heavenly was actively coming from Toya and Toya was behaving the way she's behaving now, responding to it, I'd be like, okay, I don't have much to say for Toya because I do think just like Heavenly, Toya is necessary to keep this show going.
Oh, of course.
I think if any two people on this cast, between Toya, the mess with her finances, how disrespectful she is with her husband, how shallow and out of touch she can be, that is the perfect person for television, and she's confident in herself. Heavenly, also the same. They're both messy. But I can't understand how you, who has owed the IRS and moved over more times than I have fingers on a hand in just 12 seasons, you can't say nothing to nobody about the event because maybe Heavenly's events look cheap because her house is paid, her dental practice, her kids may be in the news controversially, but her dental practice isn't. Not her husband ain't. So it's one of those things where I'm looking at Toya like, girl, you just looking for a reason to hate on this lady. Find something else to do.
Please.
Please,
This
please
is
start
old.
another business. I want to see Toya doing what Portia did. Because I feel like Toya would do it better. How Portia did the Pampered by Portia. She got the fancy sheet sets. She sells drapes. She sells hair. If Toya's not designing houses because she's probably too lazy to do an actual job for that long, I want to see her starting a business of some sort for home decor or decorating, something.
Don't
Because
y'all
coming
bring
from
up.
Heavenly,
Oh, I was going to say, because I know they're going to do this in the comment. Don't y'all bring up that fucking wine. Do not bring that up, please. And
it's a
thank you.
coupon code. When you
They
own
don't.
a business, you are more than, you're not just getting a code, you're creating coupon codes for other people.
Right.
When you own a business, we would see you going to work or something, but we don't see shit from her. So it's a coupon code. I keep telling people this online. I'm actually having fun trolling Toya's
I know.
fans
I know. I
online.
just had to, because I don't want to argue with people because I know it's a y'all, we're from the Bay Area. Mrs. Beth is only 20 minutes from Napa. We could go there and prove it to y'all.
It's a
We can
coupon
go to
code.
that. We can go to that same
And
place. We can go to
honestly,
Toya's Face nowhere.
her coupon code ain't even that good because if you go to Safeway, as quiet as it's kept, or Albertsons, Lucky's, they give you a bigger discount. She only give 10%. They give 15 to 18. I'm just saying. I like wine.
But anyways, y'all, we go move along. So Heavenly gets on the microphone. She introduces, her brother to everybody, and she said, "We're going to go ahead and start the macaroni and cheese." And Toya was like, "When did you get a brother? I thought you only had sisters. When did you get a brother?" And Heavenly said, "I told you, my father had outside children. This is a product of one." And the man said, "Yeah, I ain't no sister. I'm a brother." I said, "Yeah, you better tell her." Toya just want to be messy, just messy. But speaking of Toya being messy, so it's the macaroni and cheese event and how Heavenly has it set up. She has everything lined up and it's assigned a color. So you had to put the color of the macaroni and cheese plate that you actually liked. So everybody is voting, and I don't know how they had the tally system. It was I was trying to figure it out. I don't know if you figured it out, Mrs. Best, but I couldn't figure it out. I thought it would be one tally per person, but one person was putting 5 of them up in there, another person was putting 7. I was like, what the hell kind of
Toya cheated. Everybody was given one at the beginning. If you listen to what people were saying, because not a damn black person in the room trusted Toya. One thing black people will do is spot out the fool at the event that's causing a ruckus. I think Friday, Toya was behaving like the extra that's just asking you for $1 when you just trying to go in the stove for some rice. She was acting all sorts crazy at that event. They were supposed to put 1 in per person. That was a bad idea either way, because of course each group is going to vote for the color of their
right. They're not going to be honest. Yeah.
Mac and cheese.
She should have had a panel of mutual people that she did not know. Maybe hire some actors to come up in there and say which, because that would have been that would have been better than, or maybe even hire like Bravo chefs. Like I know Bravo had a cooking show. Maybe Bravo should have invited those people to test it out. I don't know. They should have did something better than
Top Chef.
Top Chef, yeah, they should have had them on here. But Toya cheated. Toya was going to say, "Hey, did you vote? What color? This color right here. Y'all put that color in there. Yeah, it wasn't Avery or Ash, whatever one of them A names. Wasn't it good? Yeah, you got 3. Yeah, you put your 3 up in here. You got no. If the color is yellow, you put the yellow one in there. I was looking at Toya like Toya. It ain't that fucking serious. Like, why is you cheating like this? And so
great example for your kids.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So everybody is, kind of whispering, like you hear whisperings of like, who's that lady like passing up the things? Like who's Toya? And Quad said, well, Toya's the one with the yellow shirt and the bob. She got the bob. She goes, oh, she cheating. She putting different colors in there and saying that this meal was better than. And Quad was like, my macaroni and cheese is the best macaroni and cheese. So finally, Simone and Heavenly was like, let's take this shit from Toya and let's count out these things. And so the ladies collectively go into the circle and they're counting up the tallies, and Toya ended up winning. And Quad was like, no, she didn't win. And Quad was looking at the thing, reaching her hand up in the thing to see if there's any more little pieces of paper. And there wasn't any. So, Toya was like, you gonna tell a child he ain't win? You gonna tell a child that he ain't gonna win this thing? Yeah, like, how could y'all do that?
Not as white as that roux was looking, baby. He probably got it okay for a nice upscale steak restaurant, but we talking about a down south reunion mac and cheese. Toya, she's like that fly that gets inside at an event and it keep just going and buzzing and everybody's ear getting too close to the food, interrupting things. That was Toya.
Mm-hmm. That was child. So they gave the little trophy to one of the A name kids. I do not know his name. Sorry, y'all. It's either Ashton or Avery. I don't want to mess it up. So
you got their names right. That's all that counts.
Yeah, one of them. It's like T and Tamara. Even though we see one, we call them T and Tamara. We just do that. That's what we do. It's T and Tamara. So Ashton and Avery. There you go. Is one of the others. There we go. So as the event goes in, Angel has a man by the name of Dr. Bernal. Dr. Bernal. He there. And Toya walks out and she goes, well, who is this? Who is this? And she goes, well, this is my friend Toya. She goes, friend? What kind of friend? And she goes, and Toya's like, y'all talking? He said, yeah, we're talking. Toya's like, how long y'all been talking? He said, oh, about a decade. And Toya said, huh? I thought you wanted me to hook you up with a doctor. I thought you wanted Eugene to go to his job and hook you with a doctor. So, Angel, what's going on? And I said, Toya. I don't know if Toya was drunk. I don't know if Toya was
I have said this to you people. Toya is always drunk. Bitches don't walk around with bottles of Patron in their purse regularly. I don't give a fuck how rich I get, how successful I become. I'm not walking around with bottles just in my purse. I'm a pothead. I'm not even walking around with hella weed in my purse like that. Toya be drunk. I'm convinced that that's the only way that she can tolerate sometimes being around this group And I've noticed that anytime she has situations where she's going bad or disrespecting Eugene specifically, it's always when she's been drinking.
Right. Because even though Angel was joking in her confession, talking about she might not get her mortgage paid because Toya went her mouth, I actually believed her. That man looked like he paid her mortgage. That man looked like, no, shit. That man looked like he paid her mortgage. I said, Toya, you over there fucking up the church's money. Now she got to really get out there and work and hustle. You get that mortgage paid. Good girl, fucking up the church's money like that. Because I'd have been mad as hell too. But I'm just saying, I believed Angel. Because why would Angel say that? That's stupid. Why would you even say that? So I definitely believe her. So I was like, okay. And he looked stupid enough to do it. He ain't cute. So he looked like he's stupid enough to do it. To get some ass. I ain't mad at her. Look, y'all, I don't be mad at women that do that shit too, by the way. I told y'all, it's equal opportunity here. We all got to survive. So if you guys sell a little ass to get your mortgage paid, I ain't mad at you.
Let me tell you this. If I was single and a man wanted to pay my bills and he just wanted some conversation, let's talk. How you feeling today? What's on your mind? As long as the payment clears, I'm here for you. That's the dream.
You know everybody about why you got to be hoeing to get your bills paid. Oh well, shit, times is hard. Blame the president we got in office right now. Hell, I got to do something. Shit, what the fuck y'all want me to do? I'm not. I tell you, I don't be mad at people. I don't, because look, shit be tough. Hell, shit so tough. Hell, I might go back to one of my exes. Hell, get the shit for some free shit. Hell, I don't know.
No, you not.
Gio, where you at? No, I'm just playing. Just saying, because shit, these be hard when you single. I get it, Angel. I'm with you. I'm sorry. I get it, Angel. So Toya for the fuck up all the church's money. But that was pretty much, we saw the event was very nice, very pleasant. It was very, it was very nice to see. It was very refreshing. Thank you, Dr. Heavenly, for this. Poppy said, I can't with Toya because she talking really bad about people and Toya will be so upset with me. Child, Toya just a mess. Yeah, Toya, your parties look pretty, but you spend all that money on them and then there's no bouncy house. There's always a fight or argument, chaos. There was no chaos here. That's true. There wasn't. Aside from this one she's tried to start.
Yeah. Toya's always causing chaos, but that is a part of what makes her necessary for the show. It's just the way she do it make her look so doggone bad.
I agree.
But I think Angel will be okay. We have to remember she came from Basketball Wives. If you could do that, you could do anything.
Off topic, do you remember Heather used to carry her own cup or drink in her purse? Now Toya drink heavily.
Yes. That's why I've been saying this whole live. These two are both necessary for the show. They're both similar. I feel like the only difference between Toya and Heavenly is Heavenly married Damon because she loved him and got pregnant. Toya married Eugene for other reasons. I think that's literally the only difference between them and age. I think they're both equally as bad, equally as messy. They both don't mind their business. They both was drinking too damn much at one point on the show and continuously. I mean, they're the same.
Can't argue with that. So, moving on along, we have the final scene, which is Quad and King. Now, King had a scene with Eugene and Cecil at, the barbershop. And, he was telling them, how hard this has been for him with Quad and going to Ghana. He's saying that financially this is hard because they have to travel. They traveled 5 times to Ghana and they're only supposed to do 1 trip. So he said there's a lot going on here that he's kind of, pushing back a little bit because he has to make his money. And I don't blame him. I would be like that too. Like, wow. And Quad is looking at the ambiance. I'm going to have a man with this kid, but you also are not married to this man too, Quad. So you're just doing this for the child. You could do this by your damn self. But anyways, we have this conversation. Quad gets the email from the doctor that says that because she had told Dr. Jackie at the barbecue that already 1 embryo has already failed and they only have 4 more. So now she's getting emails saying 1 failed automatically and the other 3 are in a limbo stage where it's more than likely they'll fail. So this completely kapoots their chances of getting pregnant and they took this big risk for it to fail. This thing was hard to watch because directly that affects anybody that is really trying to have a kid. and that's hard. And I know a lot of people like to say Quad is with the theatrics, Quad is with the drama. This is still hard to, endure because I feel for her in this moment. I do. I feel, especially investing a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of shots, like she said in the scene. I definitely felt for her. I was like, see, that's tough. King pretty much says that, we're doing a lot. And he said that he was fine with not having any more kids. So, he really did this journey because Quad really wanted this and he wanted to support her. But now I think he was coming from a realistic standpoint. Like, how much more are we going to really invest in this? Quad was like, well, what if I pay for it? You ain't got to do nothing. No money come out your pocket. What if I pay for it? And he was like, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's not about the money. Look at all the energy we're putting into this. And I understood both sides. I did. I understood both sides of it. I understood where he was coming from, even though I did, because I still am on the fence with him. I don't know if I like him or not. But I understood where he was coming from because that is a lot of money to be spending, to be traveling, to put yourself through all of this, taking time off of work. And, he's an entrepreneur himself. So he has to take time away from his life to make sure that this happens and then to get these kind of results. I understood him, but also understood her. It was her desire to be a mother. It was a desire to have a kid. She's finally in the right relationship where she feels she's safe enough to do it. So I also feel her too. So I was kind of conflicted about this thing. I'm like, damn, that's tough. How did you feel about this thing, Mrs. Best?
I'm not begging no man to have a baby.
True.
It don't need to be all of that. I'm not saying she's begging him. Obviously, he agreed and paid for a portion of the fertility treatment. However, if he really wanted to have a child, he wouldn't mind continuing on with the journey. He just wouldn't. I get that they're limited in time, but I also just find it strange that they're doing all of this together and y'all don't even live together. And from the sounds of it, she don't want to give up her house and he don't want to give up his house unless they moving into a house together.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they have other things that they need to work out before they consider having a kid. The other thing is, I don't know why. I mean, I get that having a child with your own DNA is important, but if you can't have kids and you waited, and I get it, Quad, you did everything right. You didn't just settle and have kids with a man because you was with him for some time and he was your husband. You waited. I get the frustration, but consider adoption or surrogacy. Like, why hasn't she tried the process? I remember when I did IVF, they were like, oh, you'll do this for some time. And then when you ovulate, you go in for a procedure. And they were like, they were going to have my husband come in and basically implant the egg and the sperm and then put it into me. So I'm like, why aren't they doing that? Why are they getting phone calls from Ghana? Why was the doctor okay to do it without the ideal number of eggs? Like, I don't know. I feel like when people stop trying, that's when they get their blessing in terms of a baby. So
True.
maybe she should like take a break and relax, because if you stress, it's harder to get pregnant.
How Pink said people are saying she should have had a baby with her ex-husband. I disagree completely with the people of the world who said that. I don't think that
having a baby with somebody that you are not going to end up in the long run with just because you're like, oh, got it out the way. I don't care what nobody says. Kids are blessings, but they're not that big of damn blessings. Nobody should compromise who they want to raise a child with. That's the problem, and why a lot of people's in effed up situations now as it relates to co-parenting or being single parents. A lot of the people out there crying about single parents put themselves in that situation, and that goes for men and women. So I don't blame Quad for not having a baby with Dr. G, because she said that man was dragging her through the house when he got frustrated, going off. Can you imagine a child growing up in that environment, even for a second? Like, don't doubt for a second that when kids are babies, that the arguing and stuff does not impact them. It does. People just be ignoring science. It absolutely impacts them.
Mm-hmm. Shana said that's right. Didn't Dr. Jackie introduce Candy to her surrogate?
Mm-hmm. She did. She came from Dr. Jackie's company, Shadina.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Because doesn't she now have a surrogacy practice now?
She has her own now, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Kwame, she did. Absolutely. Because you see where that is now in today's time, so
it didn't work out. The Quad needs to be patient. She needs to be patient,
but she also needs to be realistic too.
Adopt.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Realistic. Like, you have money, you could pay a surrogate. You don't have to carry a child. for it to be yours.
Right.
Like, you don't have to. You can adopt. Y'all have the square footage. Y'all can have. Quad can have 5 or 6 kids in that house. Like, come on. Like, it's not. Yeah. But that was pretty much the episode, y'all. It was a good episode. It really was. I really enjoyed it. We're going to go ahead and head over to the Real Housewives of Potomac Live. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. We thank everyone for being here. We appreciate you guys for joining us on the live. Shout out to the replay gang. We love you as well. Thank you. Leave a comment. Let me know if you had family reunions when you were younger or maybe in your adult life. How fun were they? Let me know if you never had one and let me know why. So that way I can kind of understand when people say they never had a family reunion, because I have one every couple of years. I love them. So I'll see you guys on my next live. Thank you guys for being here. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye now.